Hey everyone, it's June 2017 and it's time for Things of the Month. Now, I often get a lot of questions asking me what kind of gear that I'm using at any point in time. And it's obviously been a while since I've kind of traversed the whole roll call of all the stuff that I use these days, all the various gadgets. So I thought what might be fun is a sort of lightning round where I go through what I'm using, and then you can let me know in the comments whether you'd like to hear more about the stuff I mentioned in this video and whether you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Now, before we begin, a quick word about the Patreon campaign. That has started up again, and thank you so much to everyone who supports the channel. Now, if you've ever wanted to be one of those people, now is probably one of the best times to jump in because I've switched around the rewards again just to make it easier for everyone. Right now, it's $1 a month and you get to join the Discord server. So you can come in and have a chat with me and everyone else. It's actually a pretty cool little chat server. And if you like my videos, you can think of it like shouting me a coffee every month. So thanks. So the first piece of gear we'll look at is the camera. What camera am I using to shoot these days? So as you might know, in the past, I've used my very trusty Sony A6000 and I've been super happy with it. Now, obviously, I'm not using that right now because I'm using something else. So what I'm using is sort of exciting to talk about, which is why I want to talk about it first. It's the A6500. So just the upgrade over this one. The reason why I got the A6500 is actually my experience with the GoPro and learning to use the GoPro. Obviously, I still have a ways to go before I get that shake and everything taken care of. But one of the cool things I learned when using the GoPro was that shooting in 4K, even if you don't output to 4K, shooting in 4K is really useful because it allows you to crop in anywhere, because it's like an 8 megapixel image 25 times a second. It's pretty cool. So along with the A6500, which I got as part of the end of financial year sales, I've tried to consolidate my lens collection as well. So I'm down to 3 lenses. The first one that stays on my camera almost all the time is the one that you're looking through right now, which is the Sony SEL 2418Z Zeiss lens. So it's 24mm 1.8 Zeiss. Always really liked that lens, and now it's even better because thanks to the A6500 with the in-body image stabilization, I can get proper optical image stabilization. So now I can sell the 35mm 1.8 and the 30mm macro lens, which wasn't always my favorite lens. I've actually gotten the 90mm f2.8. This is the FE lens, so you can see it's a bit of a monster on the A6000. This is the macro lens that I've been shooting some of those Jararium videos with. And this is really cool. I mean, one thing that I will say I'm absolutely in love with this lens is the switch between manual focus and autofocus being a mechanical switch on the barrel. That just feels so good. Sounds a bit lewd. Let's move on. I also have the 18-105 f4G lens. This is really a video lens for every occasion. So as I understand it, it's not the sharpest in terms of photos, but mostly I shoot video on my camera these days anyway. And the great thing about this lens is it's a very, very long, wide range of focal lengths from 18 wide angle to 105, which is basically portrait. The optical image stabilization on this lens is fantastic. It's rock solid, and then you get this power zoom for those moments when you want to look really cheesy with the power zoom. So yeah, those 3 lenses have basically got me covered, and I'm kind of selling all the other ones. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about any of this stuff. But let's move on to the computer I'm using. So as a lot of you may know, I use an iMac to do video editing with Final Cut Pro 10, and I love Final Cut Pro 10. It's probably the biggest reason why I still stick with a Mac for that purpose. But as a lot of you may also know, Macs aren't exactly very useful at all as gaming machines. So recently, at the end of last year, basically, I got myself this monster. This is the Alienware 15R3, and it is sort of a brick, so I'm going to put it down. Now, I know a lot of you are looking at this machine and you're thinking, you're rolling your eyes because it's Alienware. It's sort of like the Bose of laptop brands. To be absolutely honest, the reason why I got an Alienware over any other gaming laptop was because the Alienware was the only machine that I thought didn't look like some sort of boom headshot elite gamer plastic mess. A lot of the other gaming laptops out these days are just really garish to me. And, I know this one has like these purple LEDs and everything like that, but I sort of think it has this kind of stealth bomber aesthetic that, I'm a pretty big fan of. There's also the Razer gaming laptops, and those are really nice machines as well. But the reason why I didn't go with Razer, or two reasons. One is that the Razers look too much like MacBook Pros to me, and I've had so many bad experiences with the thermal design on very thin laptops that I wasn't about to jump back in with the Razer. And I know a lot of people have had really good experiences with the Razer blades, and I know that a lot of other people have had experiences with their laptops, with their Razers throttling. So I kind of wanted to avoid that, and I haven't heard exactly fantastic things about Razer customer service. I don't know, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I did end up going with the Alienware 15R3 with a GeForce 1070, and I'm hoping that this will last me for a number of years. And the other reason why I got the Alienware was because the Alienware graphics amplifier port, which is sort of their external GPU port, it's proprietary, but their eGPU enclosure is a lot cheaper than some of the other competing solutions, and it's also higher bandwidth. So apparently, it's slightly higher performance. So I would never have gotten a gaming laptop before the days of the GeForce 1070 or the 10X0 series, where you could get comparable desktop performance out of a laptop, and also you could have Thunderbolt or eGPU enclosures so that you can later on down the line upgrade the graphics card, because that's what gets outdated fast. So what do I use when I'm out and about? Well, I use my pretty princess pink iPhone 5 SE, and I absolutely love the smallest screen. I'm so glad that this phone exists. Apparently, this iPhone tops customer satisfaction surveys out of all the iPhones, and I can't tell if that's because it's a more satisfying phone, or it's just a lot of smug small phone users that are just so happy that there's a phone that was made for human hands. Either way, suck it. This is an awesome phone, and for the times that I do want a bigger screen, I carry around this with me. This is my 9.7-inch Hello Kitty pink iPad Pro, and I again really like this machine. I bought it with the thought that I was going to do a lot of sketching and all sorts of cool stuff on it, but most of the times I'm doing one of three things. I'm either browsing websites with it, or I'm reading manga on it, and it is an incredible manga reader because it's got a brilliant display, that kind of true tone. Color shifting is sort of really easy on the eyes. And the third thing that I use it for is a Netflix machine. Because of the 4 speakers, it actually puts out a decent sound. So we pop it on the dinner table and we watch Orange is the New Black, or right now we're watching The People versus O.J. Simpson. And again, a big shout out to Netflix for putting Cantonese subtitles on all their kind of Netflix original series content, because that means that the whole family can watch for once. Really cool. So right now we'll finish off with audio gear. Now, I did sell my Matrix amplifier to Sean for his HE560, so he's enjoying that. And that means right now I actually don't have a desktop setup to speak of, except for, I guess, the Stax amplifier that only drives the stacks. That's not such a big deal for me at the moment because when I'm not, I'm really not on the desktop most of the time anyway. As I said, I got the new Alienware laptop and I'm usually using that day to day unless I'm editing video and that's when I'm on the iMac. So most of the times I'm actually using my little A35 and I've been pretty happy with this. I've talked about it a few times now on previous videos. I am probably asking a little too much of this for it to power something like a 470 ohm Audio-Technica R70X. So I am kind of in the market right now saving up for a transportable desktop setup. So what I mean by that is that it's a high quality setup that I'll use mostly at home, but I can kind of take it around with me, say to mini disc when I want to demo stuff. So right now I'm sort of tossing up between getting the line out cable with this and using it with something like the Cord Mojo, which is always a good option. In my experience with the unit, it's a nice, well-built unit with a good sound. And the other thing I'm kind of considering is actually just getting another digital audio player, perhaps something like the Sony W1MA. And the reason why I'm intrigued by the W1MA is because of the form factor. It's kind of what I'm familiar with, the interface, everything like that. And also the low output impedance on the output, which means it's going to work pretty well with the range of gear that I've got. And last but not least, it's got the new 4.4mm balanced output. Now I still remain to be convinced about balanced outputs, but if I am going to get something that's going to be future-proof, I want to consider getting something with that new output standard, because it seems like the output standard that may or may not get industry take-up, but considering that Sony and apparently Sennheiser have signed on to it, that's kind of direction I'm leaning to. So let me know in the comments what you think that I should get. Still saving up for it, so I'm not going to be able to action your advice immediately. As far as the headphones that I've kind of been trying at the moment just for review is the Oppo PM-3. Now I'm sort of late to the party with this one. It was really funny because I was testing a bunch of headphones over at Minidisc, and then I decided on a whim I'll listen to the Oppo. I've never really given this much of a chance, but I did listen to it and I bought it. This is a pretty impressive headphone. I'll probably give you a bit more detail in a full review if you'd like that. But what I can say is that it's just overall a pretty nice package of a planar magnetic headphone that's still relatively portable, and you can take this around. You get a natural kind of, it's a pretty lean sound overall, but it's not lean in a way that it sounds thin. Sean said it was sort of narrow in presentation, which I sort of agree with because it doesn't have a great deal of bass oomph, and it doesn't do anything special in terms of treble, sparkle, or shimmer. It's pretty neutral, I guess you can say. That I wish it had a little bit more bass. So as a portable headphone, I'm still not really feeling it because although the noise isolation is quite good, I still don't get that kind of energy or slam that I want in the lowest registers when I'm out and about. When I'm at home, this has become my new favorite closed headphone because it's articulate without being aggressive. It's a lot more balanced than my Shure SRH 1540. The other thing that I've been trying, because Minidisc was really doing a fantastic price for these, it was $349 Australian dollars. This is the Audio-Technica ATH-ESW990H, and you can see those beautiful glossy wooden cups here. Now, again, probably going to do a full review of these. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I'm going to say right now, this is number one, the most well-tuned portable headphone that I own, and probably that I have heard, and something that I would consider truly portable. It's a really mellow, kind of sound. It's quite a lot of bass. It reminds me a lot of my ES10, but without as much, I guess, without as much V kind of treble. The reason why I say this is one of the best tuned portables that I've heard is that it definitely makes my previous favorite, the T51P, it makes that Bayer sound very congested, and it makes it sound very kind of small. In comparison, you do have a nice soundstage, a really kind of much tighter bass. It's much less bloated or congested in the lowest regions. And it's not quite as in your face, I guess. So it's a little more refined than the T51P. It's like the Sennheiser Amperia. If you took the Amperia, which I really like, but if you took the Amperia and you turned down the mid aggression and some of the bass aggression so that it's much more mellow, all-round kind of sound that, again, it's a little sleepy to use when I'm at home. I think it's not a fantastic critical listening headphone, but when I'm out and about, this is a really nice sound. But the big problem with this headphone is isolation, not really great on this headphone. Comfort, not really great on this headphone. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you want to see more, if you want to see them monthly, or you want to see them when I go through kind of major changes in the gear that I own, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and see ya. Absolutely in love with this lens is the